monumental Royal Rumble, WrestleMania updates, plans, developments, storylines, strategies, no tragedies, no travesties, no miscarriages of justice during this explosive episode of The Brash and the Brazen. But right now, before we get into the heavy news, before we get into the heavy artillery, remember to like, hype, remember to become a channel member to help save and secure this future, this channel, because without you, there is no SeanzView, and there ain't anybody that can stop me. Now we got breaking news coming in as it concerns a world championship, AEW, TNA. We're going to expose that right now because we're always going to make you feel some sort of way. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the dirt sheets, the websites, the insiders at this time, the current AEW World's Heavyweight Champion, and that can change at any week, at any month, at any time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share this video all over the entire internet. MJF challenges TNA's Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Nick Nemeth, for the AEW World's Championship. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, is that a match you would be interested in? Is that a match you would want to be invested in? Is that a match you would want to see Dolph Ziggler, MJF, for the AEW World's Heavyweight Championship? Is it going to go down? Are you excited? Are you amplified about it? Are you justified? Is it going to be off the damn script? Or is it going to be off the damn chain? What a match that would be. Or is AEW trying to pick up the scraps? Is AEW trying to move in on the WWE? Because we all know that the WWE and AEW don't see eye to eye. However, TNA and the WWE are in a partnership, are networking, are working together, are a tag team. Is AEW trying to drive a wedge in the middle of the WWE and TNA partnership? Or is there just more to this than meets the eye? Remember to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell, turn on all notifications, because we work around the clock and we never ever stop to give you the value, to give you the integrity, to give you the intensity of SeanzView Entertainment. Also, breaking news, as I said in the start of the video, at the beginning of this very video, breaking news as it concerns WrestleMania 42 and this year's Royal Rumble. Let's get into the breaking news on WrestleMania 42, ladies and gentlemen. A top star, a multi-time world champion, a main eventer, a headliner of WrestleMania, the mecca of sports and entertainment. This star isn't making any promises about his return because it is all up in the air, and well, that's fair. And he knows that fans have every reason to be skeptical. Now, this man is the former world heavyweight champion of the new era of Raw. Former world heavyweight champion opened up to Men's Health about his shoulder injury. And the man in question, Seth frickin' Rollins. And the recovery timeline. Now, we all know that he fainted an injury. We all know that Seth Rollins fooled everybody several months ago in the summertime at SummerSlam when Seth Rollins did the Ultimate Heist Part 2 and shocked the entire world by defeating, at that time, CM Punk for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Now, Rollins has addressed whether he will be ready in time for WrestleMania 42. Rollins has been sidelined since WWE Crown Jewel in October. And when he tore his rotator cuff, an injury that led him to being stripped of the World Championship after a brutal betrayal by his own vision, his own group turned on him on Raw. Asked point blank if he'll make it back by April, and Rollins didn't sugarcoat it. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that yet, says Seth Rollins. The timeline for shoulder surgery and repair is, 4 to 6 months or so. Did my rotator cuff back in October. I'm rehabbing, and as long as there's no setbacks, I hope to be cleared by the time WrestleMania rolls around in April. Now, of course, there has been some rumors and gossip that Seth Rollins could be the ultimate shock and surprise at the Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant now that Rollins has been out of the fold for several months in WWE. And that is how you know that this injury is not fake. It's not a work. It is real. It is legitimate. It is absolutely authentic. Sadly and unfortunately for Seth Rollins. Do you think that Seth Rollins will be one of the surprise entrants into the Royal Rumble, ladies and gentlemen? Well, that's not all, because at the same damn time, speaking about the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, breaking backstage developments on WrestleMania 42. This just coming across my desk right now as the WWE has locked in a major match for WrestleMania. Ladies and gentlemen, according to those in the know, and plans can change, it's always subject to change. This is why we do multiple videos, multiple updates a day, because we literally value your trust, your feedback, your comments, your opinions. Remember to hype, like the video, donate below with a super thanks donation in the comment section by using your credit card. AJ Lee may not be working a full-time WWE schedule, but don't let that fool you that her WrestleMania plans are very real. According to a new report by WrestleVotes Radio, Fightful Select on January the 22, which was today, earlier today, a singles match between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch is considered locked in for WrestleMania 42. After months of speculation, WWE seems to be ready to pull the trigger on one of the most anticipated dream matches in recent memory. Of course, Trish Stratus' name has also come up for a big match at WrestleMania, or a special guest referee for AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania again, with Trish Stratus as the troubleshooting guest referee. Again, your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, and your emotions on that. AJ Lee has done 2 matches since she's come back in. What was it, September or something? Well, she's not full-time, that's why. But expect her to have a monumental match at WrestleMania one-on-one with the current reigning WWE Intercontinental Champion, Becky Lynch. But we also know at the same time that Becky Lynch is also on her way out of WWE. Jade Cargill, breaking news on Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill says that the internet obsession with her title reign is unlike anyone else in history. In history, viewers. You heard that right. Jade Cargill doesn't need your opinion or validation. She is already counting wins while the internet counts her days. And ladies and gentlemen, Jade Cargill is getting a lot of hate, a lot of criticism, a lot of backlash, but she's taking it all in because she's got that presence. She's got that strength. She's got that domination, does Jade Cargill. Also, Stone Cold Steve Austin could be returning to the WWE a lot sooner than expected, a lot sooner than anticipated. Austin 316, the toughest SOB in the WWE. There's been a lot of rumor and speculation that Stone Cold Steve Austin will return for a match at next year's WrestleMania, because we all know next year's WrestleMania is going to be in Saudi Arabia, and we all know the payday is going to be astronomical. It's going to be over the top. So why would you turn down a payday like that, even if your name is Stone Cold Steve Austin? Now, I know you've already read it. You've probably already seen it. You've probably already looked it up. Yes, Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to the WWE soon. But again, that was for next year's WrestleMania. But what about 2026, which just started? It just began. It just came here now. What is going to happen with the Texas Rattlesnake? Well, while Stone Cold Steve Austin may not return full-time as an in-ring competitor, an in-ring athlete, Stone Cold Steve Austin could very well make his presence felt at this year's Royal Rumble as he opens up the biggest can of whoop he's ever... Yes, exactly. The biggest can of you-know-what on the Royal Rumble match. Now, that doesn't mean that Stone Cold Steve Austin is coming in to win the Royal Rumble. Stone Cold Steve Austin is coming in to kick some you-know-what of an unnamed goat. But then we go into the WrestleMania event of next year. Again, the money is going to be ridiculous, okay? And again, you can't blame Stone Cold for turning down a payday. Stone Cold Steve Austin always said, as long as it's the right story, the right match, the right money, Stone Cold Steve Austin will compete at WWE's WrestleMania. So who is in the running to face Stone Cold Steve Austin at next year's WrestleMania? Now, again, that doesn't mean that Stone Cold won't return this year, because you could be hearing that glass shatter at WrestleMania, on a random episode of SmackDown, or even on Raw on Netflix. And as you can see, now that the immortal Hulk Hogan sadly passed away, sadly died, you got to go to Stone Cold Steve Austin as the next big name, the marquee. If you put Stone Cold Steve Austin on it, it is going to sell. Now, the rumor and the gossip about who Austin would face at WrestleMania next year, how they would kick it off, how would they start it, how would they begin to build it. Well, that's where we get into it, guys. This is where we untangle it, okay? As far as Austin returning at this year's Royal Rumble, it could happen, where Austin opens up a big can of you-know-what. But the names being talked about for Stone Cold Steve Austin as a match for next year's WrestleMania, if you can believe it, The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And we all know the checkered past. We all know the history between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. They have main evented and headlined 3 WrestleManias. Another name being brought up to face Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania, CM Punk, the best in the world. Yes, you heard that right. CM Punk. And what a dream match that would be. Finally, Austin and CM Punk locking horns at a WrestleMania. Can you imagine the magnitude of that? But ladies and gentlemen, there is a third. There is a third for the incomparable, toughest SOB in the WWE for a potential match at next year's WrestleMania. And you're saying, well, Sean, if it's not The Rock, if it's not CM Punk, well, then who the hell could it be? It's not like it's going to be Stone Cold versus Trick Williams. it's not like it's going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Xavier Woods. No. Another name being rumored. Again, this can change a billion times. But another name, and again, it's actually it's a 50-50. There's one name on this end, and there's another name on this end. So when you look at it, there's 3 names, but really it's 4 names. It's really 4 names that the WWE could be setting. Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton. Yes, Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton for Stone Cold Steve Austin at a WrestleMania. Ladies and gentlemen, that is big. That is historic. That would be off the damn chain. Wow. That, ladies and gentlemen, that would literally blow the roof off of WrestleMania. But the big thing here is that does Saudi Arabia deserve a match of that caliber? Again, it's WrestleMania. It's the Mecca. It's the Super Bowl of professional wrestling. Would I be shocked? Would I be surprised? Oh, hell yeah. And if you're not down with that, well, then there's not too much I can say to you. Like, comment, subscribe, because this is not clickbait. This is not masturbate. This is Sean's View Entertainment. Subscribe.